Hello there and welcome back to some more SNES games. This is part 2 of 4 of various SNES games that I'm playing for an hour and then stopping. Let's play... I played Mario World last time. Gotta be Mario Kart this time. That's the good shit. What an absolute classic video game. Gotta go with Donkey Kong Jr. The only character that makes sense. Mushroom Cup. We should be able to do all 3, maybe even all 4 in an hour. We'll see. Continuing the trip down memory lane of my channel. I think the very first video on my channel is of Mario Kart. Let me put in a little snippet of that here. Picture-in-picture style. So you can witness video quality, or the lack of it. Nothing's changed, Joey. Wait! I'm joking. It's good to have some perspective on what is different compared to last time. But Mario Kart, the original, handles uniquely compared to, I would say, literally all the others. I guess Super Circuit is the closest that comes to it. But it's still nothing compared to this. This game, I would say, it even handles weird. But that's only when you get used to how the other Mario Karts drive. In this game, all the cars are incredibly slidey. Damn it. As in, they want to slide. I'm not going to win. It happens. Also, this game doesn't allow for failure. I'll get 4th. I'll be fine. I'll still win. If you get hit by one thing, you just die. But it was my mistake, so it doesn't matter. Again, I'm a lot better at it when I was a kid than I am now. But the controls certainly feel different. For example, if your favourite one is Mario Kart Wii or Mario Kart 64 or whatever, and then you come back to this, you'll be like, what the hell? Or at least I was. Damn it. See what I mean? That's me not understanding the controls very well. That's my problem, not the game's problem. But I've just got to get back into it, and then I'll figure it out. But yeah, people have ROM hacked this game to hell and back as well. Joey, what is wrong with you? They keep trying to take these super tight lines and just making an absolute balls up of it. Here we go. Now the star makes you control like you're supposed to control. A lot less slidey, a lot more grippy. There we go. A lap where I didn't completely fuck it up. Amazing. But yeah, this game, I do enjoy it a lot, and the music is incredible. I can't remember the name of the woman who did it. Yoko something? I think. I'm very sorry. It's the same woman who did some of the Pilot Wings soundtrack. And more recently, some of the Nintendo games that I can't remember now, but I know existed. Whee! Finally, a win. Toad is the one I'm going to have to destroy. He needs to be not second at some point. Nice. Yeah, so we're in second now. One good position's put us back. Now it's ghost time. I'll never get that boost. You have to do it way more than in the other Mario Kart games. In normal Mario, well, I say normal. That's not fair. This is technically normal Mario Kart. It's the first one. In later Mario Kart games, you have to hold the accelerator when 2 starts to fade away. Sometimes it's when 2 appears. But in this game, it's way before that. I'm small. Please help. The AI desperately want to crush you. You lose a lot of time if they manage to do it. See ya, Koopa. Bye-bye. Items do eventually respawn, but it takes a long time. I think if you completely run out, that's when it happens. But yes, another Tio anecdote, if you'd like one. Damn it. For those of you who are, like, newer to the channel, like, who the hell is Tio? What are you talking about? He is one of my longest term viewers. Maybe actually my first viewer of all time. And he is just a constant source of good luck and joy. He's a patron on my channel. He's supported me more than anyone. That's not good. Yeah, I'm going to really need to fuck Toad up now. But, yeah, he's supported me a lot. And he's made ROM hacks of this game. That are, again, way harder than the actual game. Which means that I can't really do them that well. But I try. I've made a few ROM hacks of this too. Which you know, they're not great, but they're okay. Nothing I do is ever great. I'd say everything I do is okay. The highest praise I can muster for it is, that's alright, I guess. I wonder if I can make that with a feather jump. Feather is the most broken item in Mario Kart history. It's super good. Nah, there's no way I'm making that. I'll try. I'd need like a boost. And then I could do it. I mean, the feather's so good that they didn't add it again into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then when they did add it again, it was awful. Because they nerfed it into oblivion. In this game, the feather allows you to jump over walls. So you could see how that could potentially be very strong. Maybe not in this level, because it's all lava. But in later levels. Very, very good. Yeah, I need to get behind Toad and then fuck him up. But second place has this, like, because they're AI and they cheat, the uncanny ability to, like, avoid everything you do. Come on, Toad. Wait. I might be making another blunder. Are there no more items on this level? Oh god, there's no more items on the level. Uh-oh. Well, in that case then, that's when you press the give up button and retry. Because you need to make sure that, well, I need to make sure that Toad isn't second. I need to win, and Toad needs to be, like, if possible, outside the points, which means I need to do it, like, right at the end of the level. But if I can't do that, then it needs to be as early into lap 5 as I can do. So Mario hit that one. Every coin increases your max speed by a little bit. Getting trash items in first was happening as early as the very first level. Wait. I'll run some numbers and see if it's still statistically possible for me to win. I think it's highly unlikely, but we'll try. It's not in. I'm not in it to win. I'm just here to play until I succeed or fail, that's it. It's the only Mario Kart... No, again, Super Circuit exists. I was going to say the only Mario Kart where there are 5 circuits per cup. Meaning this game has 20 courses, which is more than Mario Kart 64 had, and more than Double Dash had. And more than Mario... No, Mario Kart we had Retro Track, so then it had 32. I think Mario Circuit 2 is more likely for me to be able to do my trick. Okay, I can still win. If I get first and Toad gets second, he'll win. If I get first and Toad doesn't score, I'll win. So give me a minute. Just gotta get some good items and then kill Toad on lap 5. I'm noticing a lot of tracks have one item section and that's it. That's something they changed in later Mario Karts to give you more chance to actually catch up. Because only having one is not good. Since it essentially means you get 5 chances to kill something, and that's it. What I wouldn't give for a red shell. Press this to get a rear view mirror, so I can see what's going on behind me. One thing ROM hacks haven't quite got right yet, and it's mainly because of the tools that are used to make the ROM hacks, is the ability to get these sort of boosts where AIs go incredibly quick. Like this jump here, the AIs basically never fail the jump. Whereas in later versions of the game, or like any ROM hacked versions, even if you make exactly the same setup, sometimes inexplicably, I'm gonna fuck up. Inexplicably, AIs will just lose. Right. I'm gonna rewind a second and just see if it was possible. Before I mess up. Let's do. That's a neat feature. I like that. It's making like snapshots in time. That's cool. Right, let's see. What? Oh, he fucked up. Good job, me. So it would have been possible. We'll call that a loss, but for the sake of moving forward. His AI got confused, and so he didn't make the jump. Ha ha ha! I guess it's showing you what the rewind menu looks like too. Like I said, the AI have an uncanny ability to just avoid your shit when they're in first place. They don't care. But luckily that managed to mess up his AI anyway. Cool. Onto the flower cup. So we'll hold that gold cup in contention because I basically just used drugs and cheated. But if they don't drug test me, they're not going to know, so it's fine. Right? You can cheat as long as you don't get caught. Everyone knows that. Just look at any Olympic sport. Right. Let's kill this Toad. who is my lifelong rival for all time. This is Choco Fields. The levels start getting harder, obviously. This is the start of those levels getting harder. Try getting past that. I bet they'll just go straight through the... Nope, Toad did get hit. Good. It's mainly harder because there are things now in the way that just slow you down, whereas before they didn't have these elements that slow you down. And yes, I did say slew. You've got these little bumps, and you've got these lakes full of chocolate milk that slow you down. That's what I'm going for. Don't think I can do anything here with this mushroom. No, I might have been able to. I mean, I'm so far ahead, it doesn't matter what I do, but... Whee! Toad still managed to come second, because the rival, which is the person who usually finishes second, gets a huge advantage in speed and everything. So they often come second, which is why if you're going to try and mess them up, it's best to try and do it on the final lap, where they don't have enough time to catch up again. Right, Ghost 2. Featured in Mario Kart Wii. Good circuit. Very short. Relatively straightforward, although I have a habit of falling in. Because basically the way this course works, it has barriers the same as every other level, but the barriers disappear. So if you hit into a barrier once, and then hit into that same spot again, you will fall. Because the barriers don't regrow. I don't remember if that was replicated in Mario Kart Wii or not. I don't think so. Which means that the original Mario Kart must be the superior game. Don't mind me. Just gonna... I'll try this jump. It's not gonna work. I didn't press the jump button. Which is R. I just didn't... Basically, essentially what happened is I didn't even try. I boosted and then just fell off the level. That's what happened. I'll be lucky to get second here, so I'm just going to try and not... Actually, I should probably finish in 5th on purpose. I mean, I made a mistake. I was going to try and get 3rd or 2nd, but if you're not going to win, sometimes it's better just to reset. You get lives in this version of Mario Kart, but then they give you lives and then you can reset. In the later Mario Karts, you can't restart. You have to deal with what you got given. You can only quit the entire thing. I wouldn't mind a return to the live system. But then again, you'd have to get in the top, 6 to do advanced sort of thing, which isn't really in the spirit of Mario Kart. I think it would just be, instead, a reset system, so you have like an amount of restarts. You can have 3 restarts per Grand Prix or something. If you don't like the position you're in, you can restart. It uses a restart up. But you don't have to score anything. You can just keep going if you want to. So basically it means, because what that means is, in this game, you can have 4 wins. And I'm pretty sure if you have 4 wins, you physically can't lose. Like, the AI can't get enough points to score to catch up. Because you'd have 36 and they'd have 24. So, no matter what they do, they would win. But you can still lose because you can get 5th on the last course 5 times or 4 times and game over. Meaning that your entire work is wasted. Which isn't really that fun. Here we go. I often think to myself, I'm like YouTube's worst nightmare. Because I make videos that are like an hour long, every day, all the time, and people don't watch them, right? So I'm hogging up gigs and gigs and gigs and gigs and gigs of the YouTube server, and YouTube's like, what the hell? But it's just the kind of content that I like to make. And I would think, somewhere out there in the world, if I like making it, there must be other people who don't mind watching it in this way. The reason I enjoy making it this way is because I like things that I can really sink my teeth into. As someone who has a lot of time to kill, and you don't want to get bored, having like an hour-long thing to sink your teeth into is very useful. Idiota! It's fine, I can just boost out of it. When in doubt, mushroom boost. So I'm like, yeah, people must be able to enjoy that as well. They put it on the train or on their bus commute to work or whatever. They don't have to actually watch it, really. They could just listen to it. But, you know, it hasn't panned out that way so far. Which is whatever. I'm trying my best, because I've been on this course in the Commentary Mind. Mind is a great service. You should support it if you live in the UK, and maybe even if you don't, supporting mental health and all that sort of stuff. About being more mindful of my situation and not letting it get to me so much, and not overthinking everything all the time. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm okay. I enjoy making the videos. If people don't watch them, it's fine. I'm releasing that tension inside of me that's like, oh, I've got to do better. I'm not good enough. Excuse me. If people don't watch, it's because I'm not good enough. No, it's not necessarily true. You know what people still watch a lot of? Mickey's Speedway USA. For some inexplicable reason. And I mean, it's a lot for me. They know, in the week there's like 15 watches of it, but that happens every week. If my current video's got 15 views each, I'd be happy with that. Which is kind of sad in a way, but, you know. It's better. 15, in case you weren't aware, is infinity% better than 0. Not that I always get 0. I'm just being picky. But obviously, as a person who, I guess, I hate using this phrase because it doesn't really mean anything. It's just sort of like, weird. As a content creator, it would be nice if your content was viewed, right? Obviously. But you just get into this place where you're like, well, if people don't want to watch it, I could change the format up. You know, I could go to YouTuber hints.net. And they'll be like, make your videos 15 minutes long with a clickbait thumbnail and title, and talk about some weird shit, and dress up as Spider-Man and smack Elsa's pregnant belly with an egg or something. But I just want to make the stuff that I would like to watch. I think what it is my niche of the content that I like to watch, that was silly, is basically Twitch streams in style, so very long form content, but with no chat interaction because chat is the worst. Which is antithetical to what you need to do on Twitch to be successful, but it works for me. So my YouTube videos, I want them to be like Twitch streams, where I just play a thing for an hour, and it's long form, but with no chat interaction because I can't trust people to not be idiots. And I've said before, I enjoy Twitch streaming because I can just turn it off, you know? I mean, I enjoy YouTube compared to Twitch streaming, if that's not what I said, because when I finish a YouTube video, I can just switch it off. I don't have to think about it all the time. I don't have to be in the stream for 8 hours a day. And so it's useful for me to be able to go, yeah, I've recorded a video. I'm done now. Whereas a Twitch stream, you have to be on it all the time. At least I would feel that way. I feel like I couldn't be boring for like 8 hours every day. And that's how I get burned out real quick. It's just the time commitment, to be honest, that fucks me over real hard. Having to be so involved, talking to people, which I don't particularly like doing anyway, for such a long period of time. Because that's the situation at Twitch right now. If you're not doing, 6-hour streams every day, as someone who's up and coming, you ain't getting anywhere. Maybe even if you do, you're not getting anywhere. Because it also depends on your personality and what sort of games you want to play. For example, I like playing platformers, fair enough, fairly popular, and RPGs, uh-oh, not popular at all, and driving games, uh-oh, even more niche, and I'm not even, super talented at driving games or whatever, so people would want to watch that. For those niche games, you can get away with it if you're, like, ridiculously good. For example, if you're a Fortnite streamer, and you are a new Fortnite streamer, you may never be as big as Ninja, or Shroud, or anyone else. Not that he's a Fortnite streamer, but you know what I mean. But if you're incredibly talented, you'll get an audience. Or if you're incredibly funny or charismatic, you'll probably get an audience too. But if you're just average, like I consider myself to be, just average, not a Fortnite, but as a human being, it's highly unlikely that you're going to get very far. The same thing could be said for YouTube too. But all my philosophy right now is just to keep plucking away at it, and eventually something will happen. The more years that pass, the more likely it is that people will start to say, just give up. You're not getting anywhere, just give up. But, nah. Nah, I'm good. I'd rather keep going, thank you. Give me that trophy. Bowser's fairly happy with third. I could see Bowser in later games being unhappy if he didn't win. Old Bowser, he knew that a podium finish was still good. Star Cup. But I'm enjoying these SNES streams because I know the games well enough that I don't really have to think particularly hard about playing them, which means I can just talk about whatever goes through my head, and this is the sort of stuff that goes through my head all the time. I'm thinking about, if you want to call it this, I guess work. I don't consider it work because it's not particularly soul-destroying, or you don't clock in at 9 and leave at 5, and I'm definitely not putting food on the table, so it's not necessarily financially a job either. But if I ever started paying taxes because of this, then it's a job, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, this is stuff that goes in my head. I try and mitigate it as much as possible when I'm not doing videos, because I'm like, yeah, well, it is what it is. I'm not going to concern myself with what could be or could not be or might not or might be or whatever. Because what can I realistically change about the way I handle my videos in terms of the viewership? There's not a lot I can do, right? I could try networking with people, right? But again, if I'm trying to stick true to who I am as a human being, which is quite an antisocial person and, well, not even borderline, pretty much a hermit, stays inside, does his own thing. At least I'm trying to record stuff and put something out there. That's, I guess. I find it hard not to diminish my own achievement, or what I am capable of doing. I find it very difficult. I'm very quick to say, oh, well, what I do isn't important. It doesn't matter. Anyone could do it, sort of thing. It's not necessarily true. I think anyone can put a microphone in front of their face and, you know, maybe a webcam and turn a game on and start playing it. But it's a lot harder to either be interesting, which I don't think I am, or committed to doing it every day, which is where I think my strength lies. Especially in the YouTube space, I, you know, have made a video every day now for how long? Like what? Coming up towards 3 years? And my friend Lex, who is also Mexican, I don't know why, I just attract Mexicans, I guess, talked with me about, actually, that it's more like 10. It's more like 10 years. I took a break while I was in school for like a year, but still put videos up every so often. But ever since like 2009 or something, I've been putting videos on the internet fairly consistently, and for the past 3 years haven't missed a single day. And when I do miss a day, I do 2 videos the next day to make up for it. And I guess, in a sense, I should be proud of that, because I'm showing my commitment to doing it. It just could be potentially a lot of energy put into the wrong thing, I guess. But I won't know. That's the problem. You've seen that picture of that like guy who mines into a mine shaft and gives up and looks all defeated and deflated, and the next guy is happy and determined and still going even though he's dug the same distance, and there's like a cave full of diamonds right behind the first guy, but he gave up, so he doesn't know that if he just went a little bit further he'd find what he was looking for. I think it's a kind of shit analogy, but I could be, and you never know. That's the thing in this world. It's kind of who you know and not how good you are, but also an element of luck. L-U-C-K, not L-L-O-O-K. I said 2 L's, didn't I? Didn't matter. It's an element of who you know and how good you are with people, which I'm not. So who knows? I could be, you know, a week away from this thing where suddenly, for no reason, a video hits a lot of people, and that's, you know, a growth spurt that starts me off. Or I could never reach it, which is arguably more likely. But I literally won't know unless I keep trying. And I've tried to set arbitrary goals for myself, you know, like, oh, I want to have something, you know, 5 patrons by the end of the year. Even if they're each $1 each, and that doesn't matter to me. It's not the money, it's just the idea that someone would be willing to do it, mainly. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. But if it doesn't happen, which was my goal for this year, and it's looking like it didn't happen, and I said, was it the start of the year or like midway through that I made that Donkey Kong Country video talking about it? Well, I was like, well, if it doesn't happen, I'm going to stop. And not in a... I didn't say what my goal was then, because I don't want to come off as this guy who's like, oh, money hungry or whatever. It's not, again, it's not about the money. It's about actual progress to see that it's worth continuing doing. Yeah, but if it doesn't happen, what am I going to do? Just stop? I said I would, but am I actually going to? Probably not. Because what else would I be doing? Looking for an office job? Not likely. That really isn't in my mind space. For various reasons that I won't go into here. So if I'm not doing this, and I'm not going to Twitch stream because I don't feel like I'm capable of dealing with the pressures of having to be interesting for 8 hours every day, then what am I going to do? I might as well just keep doing YouTube, right? What I need to figure out, and maybe someone could help me, is how to tap into the people who are watching, like Mickey Speedway USA, all the time. Because it gets quite a lot of traffic, considering, again, comparative to what I normally get. So how do I tap into them? I've tried already, you know, little sneaky Patreon link in the description, which I don't like often do the thing where people go like and subscribe and make sure to hit that Patreon link and check it out and support it. It's really grateful and whatever, because I don't feel like selling myself, and also because I'm like it's a bit bleh. You know what I mean? Just a bit bleh. My way of thinking is that most people now on YouTube and Twitch understand that this is how it works. That's how the algorithm works. That if you don't do this like and subscribe bullshit, that you're not going to get anywhere. And so I trust people to be smart enough to just do it if they like the video, and subscribe if they like the content, and ring the bell if they want to, you know? I don't feel like I have to tell them all the time, just drilling it into people's minds, because why? It kind of feels like, to me, maybe I'm just overestimating people, but I'm kind of doubting their intelligence in a way. Like they can't figure out to hit the like and subscribe button without me telling them. Just feels wrong. I know I'm just rambling, but I'm just, like I said, I got into this sort of, not zen, but this sort of state where I can just play Mario Kart and it's fine. Autopilot mode. But yeah, I don't want to come off as that guy who's like, yeah, make sure to like and subscribe to the video. It really helps me out. Shut the fuck up, Joey. You know, that's what I'd be like to myself if I was watching it. I'd be like, shut the hell up. Don't assume my intelligence is so low that I can't hit the like button. If I like the video. But then I am quite rude to myself, so that response wouldn't particularly surprise me. Then you got this whole thing about, you know, fostering a community and a sense of togetherness or whatever. And that feels a bit predatory as well. Because you know, well maybe, again, maybe I'm just projecting, but you know that a lot of these YouTubers don't give a shit about their communities, right? They see them as pound and dollar signs in front of their eyes, like ding 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 ding, jackpot. Gonna manipulate the emotions of 14-year-olds to feel like they have a connection to someone who's not real, or might as well not be real because they're on the other side of the country, behind a screen, and aren't your friends, but people think they are. I like to make my stance on that very clear because I know myself. And I know how I feel about it. And my thoughts on it are, I'm not trying to be anyone's friend, you know? I try and make content that people want to watch, or at least people are interested in, but I'm not going to try and pretend that I'm anybody's pal, or ally, or friend, or whatever, because, again, I'm a very antisocial person. You get into the situation where people are like, oh, make a Discord, or, oh, add me on Skype, or, you know, in the old days. No, I'm good. Distancing myself from all of that stuff is more helpful for my mental state than anything else. Because you set a precedent if you start discussing with loads of things and talking with people on the internet and having whatever, because then people expect it. And maybe people already expect it. And I'm needlessly trying to break convention, which only hurts myself, but I you know, I'd go to a convention or whatever, but I wouldn't enjoy it. I know I wouldn't. I'd do it begrudgingly because and I'll tell you a little secret about my psyche. I'd do it because I think that's what people do, which is how I operate a lot of my decisions. Is, oh, I think that's what normal people do, so I'll do that. So it doesn't come from like a genuine place, which makes it quite hard to care. So Special Cup to get back to the game, sorry, is extremely hard compared to the rest of the levels. They really stopped the kiddie gloves. They expect you to understand how the game works by now. They expect you to understand how to get the corners to do what you want, how to drift around the certain corners in a certain way to get the angles you need. Being able to jump over that as an expected jump, which is quite strange. Which the AI managed to do, but again, if you ever tried to actually do it, they'd struggle probably if you did it in a ROM hack. I think because all these games were made in like assembly, right? Oh, phone call. Be back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. As I was saying, because it's all assembly, it's impressive that any of this stuff is possible in the first place. To be able to ROM hack, you know, Lunar Magic is actually like black magic. It's just incredible. And, you know, make and Epic Edit and all that stuff for these games. It's just very impressive. You look at, for example, all of the programs that exist that tout themselves as game-making programs. You know, Game Maker, Construct, Game Maker Studio, what's the other one? GMP, Game Maker Pro. But I think there's like another one. It's like a different company. It sounds the same, but it's not. They're never very good, right? Because the amount of stuff you have to put in code-wise to make one of those things good is impossible to even imagine. That's why when you're left to your own devices and you have a tool like Game Maker or whatever, you can't make a good game unless you basically know how to code, pretty much. Unless you know how to program, good luck using any of those games to make anything worth playing. Even things like RPG Maker, which games have been put on Steam that are literally just RPG Maker games, most of them have Ruby script in them to make them more interesting. So, as much as the ideas are nice, and I hope I live to see a day where AI is smart enough where you can just say to a programming machine what you want it to do, and the AI is smart enough to do it. It goes, oh, I want a jump that is, you know, 8 units high and has a parabolic arc that goes this distance, and it goes, oh, okay, cool, and just does it. Like a neural network. It should be smart enough eventually, maybe in my lifetime. That's the hope. That we can just make games, because I wish I could make a good game. And I've made some progress on it, but it's so difficult, at least for me as someone who hasn't got very high confidence in himself, to go through all the effort and know, deep down in your soul, that no one's going to fucking play it. And then do it anyway. I guess people would consider, you know, things like that a passion project, but I don't have passion. I don't get passionate about things. Being Captain Autismo. And that's not a joke either. I don't feel passionate about things. So if it's a case of having to be passionate about the thing to succeed, that ain't gonna happen. I've got to find different ways. Why are all these courses so bad for flour? Or feather even, not flour. Cut that bit short, maybe. But the big gains are going to be if I can make it like all the way over to the other end. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, this ghost house is scary. There's so many holes. You've got to employ the slow down strats. The slow the fuck down because you're going to hurt yourself strategy. On 150cc, good luck winning this one. Unless you're some kind of video game master, which I'm not. I'm doing everything in my power just to hold together. There we go. Good. Whee! Nice. We did it. That was my best lap. It felt good. Ooh, that's a nice time. Perfect 150.00. I mean, I don't know if it's fast. It probably isn't, but it just looks nice. Where? Leave me alone. Oh yeah, what a line. That's not going to happen again. I'm definitely going to hit into those ice blocks at some point. Just clear a path. There you go. The more you brake, the easier it's going to be next time. So while you've got a bit of a head start on the competition, might as well make the most of it. Also, I could just do that and skip the entire thing. Which is probably better. This track is literally just a circle. But for whatever reason, Vanilla Lake 2, in every ROM hack I've ever played, including the ones that I've made, is always like a complete clusterfuck. And I couldn't tell you why. There's something about Vanilla Lake 2 that makes me think, oh, I've got to put loads of little ice platforms on the water, so you just have to do loads of jumps, and that's it. That's the track. So now I don't have to win Rainbow Road, I only have to finish in the top 4. Easier said than done. Classic start with Rainbow Road having its own music theme, which is the only track in the game that has its own theme. As in, like, a theme that no other track uses. Damn it, how did Yoshi live? I was trying to kill him so hard. It might take me a few attempts to get into the rhythm of the track. Damn it. I was too late on the old trigger finger there. They also did a much better job in later versions of the level, including, like, you know, Mario Kart. Was it 7 that had this in, and then also 8? They did a much better job in later versions to make it clear where the coins are, where the jumps are and stuff. Whereas in this version it's quite hard to tell. I might be able to make something happen with this. But again, I feel like all of the jumps are a little bit too far away to make it happen. Just got to get through a lap without bashing into the wall. How do I get... I guess I go around the outside of that. I was going to say, how do I get around it? Go through the middle of them. I'll learn again. Don't worry. Right, go around the inside of these. Because everyone goes slow there anyway, so it doesn't matter. Outside of them. And then outside of these. That's it, yeah. Good. Now I just gotta do it fast. Or beat the Ouija. If I can beat Ouija, then it doesn't matter. Bye. Easy peasy. You could see the improvement in the last lap. It was much better. Good job, me. You did it. So in 50 minutes, I'll beat all the levels. Although for a couple of those minutes, I was speaking to my dad. It's a good thing I have family with me who help me out, because I'd be completely screwed without them. So big thanks to them. And big thanks to Tio as well, because like I said, he is an absolute bro. The definition of a bro. Now I'll leave you with the credits. Goodbye.